Yo guys, gonna be now talking about like the fact that everything in this reality, in this world, is like rooted in evil and like suffering and misery. Need some nice, I wanted to now talk about the fact that, guys, if you look at our world, there's quite a lot of atrocious things that go on in this world. Things that are like very dark, dubious and all that type of stuff. There's like a lot of darkness in this world, and I do think so that everything good in this world comes from something bad, something evil. The foundation of this reality world is something that's like rooted in evilness and like suffering and all that type of stuff. I truly do believe, guys, this world and life and everything like that, it's like rooted in something that's very dark and evil. And I was watching another YouTuber. His name is Benedictine the Truther. And he said something about, he said that everything good comes from something bad, something evil. He said that the foundation of this world is like evil, it's evilness and stuff is evil and everything's twisted. And he was using the example of the fact that like if you want to eat, like if you want to stay alive, you have to eat like the meat out of like animals. You have to eat like dead animals, so to speak, so you can take the nutrients from their meat parts. And cause like you have to kill animals to eat them. Like your chicken nuggets don't come from nowhere, you know what I mean? Like you have to kill animals and eat them to stay alive. And that was like the most profound example that he used. There was this YouTuber called Benedictine the Truther. I don't want to get too deep into that, but he really got my noggin jogging, because I do think so that this world and life is like rooted in something that's like very dark and evil. For example, in order to stay alive, you have to kill like and eat other living creatures and organisms like animals, plants, vegetation. That's very twisted, man. A lot of this stuff is so twisted. Right, in order to stay alive, you have to eat the life force out of other sentient creatures and animals, like plants, vegetation, animals and all that type of stuff. That's like very fucked, bro. That's so twisted. And again, that YouTuber Benedictine the Truther, he got my noggin jogging, because he actually was onto something so big. He was onto something that's like super profound. He was talking about like, again, like everything good comes from something bad, something evil. And he used the example of like yeah, in order to stay alive, you have to kill like thousands of animals have to die so you can stay alive, so you can like their nourishment, like so you can live off of like their corpses. And because in order for you to stay alive, you have to like animals have to die. Like that's so, for you to be healthy and strong, like thousands of animals in farms have to be slaughtered so you can eat their meat, so you can remain alive and stay healthy. So that example really got my noggin jogging. And he also used other examples as well. He said that, like, you know, how did a king, a monarch, how does a monarch become a monarch? Because the monarch has to like subjugate other people and do a lot of bad things to get to the top. Like every good thing in this world comes from something bad, something evil. Again, the best example he used for this was that for example, like related to your health as a human being. In order for you to stay healthy, animals have to die so you can eat their bodies and all that type of stuff, man. So you can eat their bodies and all that, and so you can eat their bodies, and so you can kind of like maintain your existence by eating the corpses of dead animals and living creatures. That's so deep, that's so profound. I actually do think that's so true. Everything good comes from something bad, something evil. And again, the animal example was so genius that he used this example that if you want to stay healthy as a human being, you have to eat like meat, and you have to eat the life force out of other sentient creatures and living organisms just to maintain your own feeble existence. And that's like so fucking deep, man. And everything good does come from something bad, something evil. I do think so that the foundation of this world is like rooted in like suffering and misery. And if you look at our history, it's always just been like a lot of bloodshedding, a lot of like horrible wars and all that type of stuff. There's always been a lot of like dark shit in our history. And you wonder why this is the case and all that. You wonder why it's like this. Like, there's been like a lot of dark shit in our history and all that type of stuff. You wonder why it is. It's because I think that's just like the foundation, you know what I mean? The dark shit, the reason it's here is because it's like the foundation of this world, you know what I mean? It's like all dark shit that's like underneath everything. It's like weird stuff going on. It's like rooted in like suffering and all that type of stuff. It's like bizarre. Like foundation of like this world's like rooted in like suffering and some shit like that, and like misery and like pain and all that type of stuff. A lot of our history is just about like pain, misery, suffering, etc. and stuff like that. If you look deeply at our histories, a lot of it just is just all about just like tremendous amounts of like hardships and ordeals and all that, and it's a bit weird. It truly is a bit weird. But that YouTuber that I was talking about, Benedictine the Truth, and his videos are lit, but one of his videos he was talking about like, again, everything good comes from something bad, something evil. Like this world, this reality is rooted in suffering, misery, hardships, turmoil, pain and misery. Again, in order for you to stay alive as a human being, animals have to die so you can eat their meat and so you can continue your own existence. Other living creatures have to die just so you can maintain your existence. Life has to feed upon itself to stay alive. That's kind of a bit twisted. Every living organism, creature, has to eat other creatures to stay alive. You can't stay alive in this world if you're not willing to eat other living things. And that should tell you something about the world that we live in. It's like, it's all, the foundation is like dark and misery. Like everything's just rooted in suffering and misery. And you come to like, once you reach this like level of like enlightenment, once you reach this like high level of enlightenment, you wonder why it's like this. Like, why is everything like rooted in like fucking hardships and suffering and misery and all that type of shit? It's like very bizarre. Like, why is it rooted in like, why is everything so fucked up like this? You know what I mean? Like, everything good has to come from something bad, something evil. Life has to feed upon itself in so many different sorts of twisted ways. And that guy Benedictine the Truth, he didn't really get into like the nitty-gritties, like why is it like this, because it's always been like this. If you look all through our history, life had to feed upon itself. We've been killing each other for ages as well, and it really makes you wonder why it's like set up like this world's like just rooted in like misery, suffering, and like the like sentient creatures have to feed upon themselves to remain alive. It's like all just rooted in like darkness and shit. It's pretty twisted, man. It's very, very fucked up. But like, why is it like this? It's kind of a bit weird. Honestly, I can't even begin to like get into like the nitty-gritties here, guys. Like, why the world's like so fucking dark like underneath everything. All it's so fucked, bro. Yo, it really, truly is like very fucked, bro. Like the world's just like it's rooted in like suffering and shit like that, man. Everything good has to come from something bad, something evil. Like, in order for you to stay alive, animals have to die so you can eat their meat. Plants have to die. Vegetation has to die. Living things have to die so you can maintain your own existence. That's like the best example to use regarding this. Everything good comes from something bad, something evil. It's like the foundation of this world is like rooted in like suffering and misery and all sorts of fucking hardships, man. It's all weird, isn't it? In order for you to stay alive, animals have to die so you can eat their meat products, so you can eat their meat and all that. It's pretty fucked, I swear down. Animals have to die, living things have to die so you can eat their bodies and all that type of stuff. So you can eat their bodies and so you can continue your own feeble existence. It's so fucked, bro. Bro, that's so fucked, man. But that's like the foundation. It's all like wrong evilness. That foundation is like fucked up, bro. Yo, at the root, it's all fucked, bro. Yo, because like this world's like just rooted in like suffering and shit and hardships and misery. In order for you to stay alive, you have to eat like the life force of other living things, man. That's so fucked. And it's always been like this. And if you look at our history, it's all so like dark and fucked up. A lot of our history is just like it's like pain, bloodshedding, hardships, turmoil. That makes up like a lot of our history. If you carefully look at our history, it's just about like fucking, just a lot of it's just hardships and turmoil. There's like very few moments in our history where it's like very nice, calm, peaceful and tranquil like it is now. I think right now we're in like a very special moment in time in our history, because right now it's very peaceful, even though there's some bad shit going on, but it's still very, very peaceful. But if you look at most of our history, it's all just like rooted in like fucking wars and horrible shit like that. It's like a lot of it just revolves around suffering and misery, which is like the norm for this reality and existence. This world's just like, the norm is like, it's just like rooted in like fucking misery and suffering and shit like that. It's like, that is like the norm, you know what I mean? It's like, that's so bizarre as well, yo. With that guy Benedictine, the truth, he got my noggin jogging, because he really made me start to think more about this. That really is everything just rooted in like hardships and misery and suffering, because it seems to be the case that the world is just set up like that. If you're not willing to step on other people, other living creatures, you're not going to get anywhere in this world. Fucking fuck's sake, even like, in order for you to stay alive, you have to eat like the life force out of other living creatures, like animals, vegetation, plants, etc. That shit is like so fucked, bro. That shit is like so fucked up, man. In order for you to stay alive, you have to like eat the life force out of other living creatures. Because if you don't eat meat, if you don't eat plants and vegetation, you die. You cannot continue existing in this reality. This reality is like predatory. At its root, it's predatory. It's something evil, something bad is at the root of everything here. Because again, for fuck's sake, in order for us to stay in this reality, if you're not willing to eat like the dead corpses of animals and other living things like plants and vegetation, you're not going to get anywhere. And it's like, the world's just fucked, bro. It's fucked. And it's like, suffering's just at the root of this. You can't escape it. Bro, it's like very fucked, man. Like suffering and all that type of shit, it's at the root of this reality, this world. It's like everything's just like rooted in like suffering and hardships and misery and all that type of shit. It's like at the foundation of this reality and world. If you're not willing to eat the life force out of other living creatures, you're not going to get fucking anywhere. And again, that guy Benedictine, the truth, he used the example of like the fact, again, like in order to stay alive in this reality, you have to eat like the life force out of other living beings and creatures, sentient animals. They have to die. Thousands of animals have to die so you can maintain your existence, your health, so you can eat their meat, so you can stay alive, you know, so you don't just die of malnutrition. Everything good is rooted in something bad, something evil. Thinking about this has got my noggin jogging, I swear down. It's so true. What that guy was saying is just so on point. Everything he was saying is just so correct. Right? Again, that everything good is rooted in something bad, something evil. In order for you to stay alive, you have to eat like the life force out of like other living creatures and sentient beings. Thousands of animals have to die so you can eat their bodies, so you can continue existing in this reality, this very like reality, this like very dark, like fucked up, twisted reality, man, I swear. So you can continue existing, so you can stay alive. Thousands of like animals have to die, you know. That's a bit fucked, bro. Super duper fucked, bro, I swear down. Like thousands of animals have to die so you can like eat their bodies, and so you can continue existing and all that type of shit. It's like very dark. At the root, at the foundation, everything's like twisted and dark in this world. It's like a bit fucked, man. It's super duper fucked, bro. At the root, the foundation, everything's fucked, bro. The root of this reality and world is like fucked, bro. It's evil. Something dark's behind all of this. And if you look at our history, a lot of it's just like darkness and like misery and suffering, and like you wonder why it's like that. Like, why is the world so dark and evil? And honestly, I can't even begin to like fucking talk about this. Like, who the fuck knows why the world's like so fucked, you know what I mean? Like, you have to like eat the life force out of other living creatures to stay alive. You have to do all sorts of fucked up things. You don't even realize it as well. A lot of people, they go about their day-to-day lives, they don't even realize like what the fuck they're doing here. The fact that they're eating like the physical bodies of like other sentient creatures, the creatures that were killed, and then you ate their bodies, and now they're, you know, they're in the ground, and you're living off of their misery and suffering. People, they don't know what this world's actually about. It's all just like about darkness and evil. This world is just like fucking evil at its core, at the root, the foundation. The world's fucked, bro. Everything in this world is like fucking, like at the root is evil. This world is like rooted in like misery and suffering. It's just like that, bro. It's fucked, bro. You can't really get away from that, man. I swear down. At the root, at the foundation, everything's fucked. In order for you to stay alive, you have to like eat like the physical bodies of like other like sentient creatures and animals, which is just fucked. You have to eat the life force out of other sentient creatures. And that should really tell you a lot about this world, right? Because you can't even stay in this world if you're not willing. If you're not willing, or if you're not able to eat like the living body, living life force out of other sentient creatures and animals, you're not going to be here for long if you're not willing to step on other things. If you're not willing to take advantage of like the predatory food chain, if you're not willing to eat like the life force out of other sentient beings, like the world at its root is evil. Something bad, something dark's behind everything in this world. And I've been like thinking about this for ages now. Like, why is the world like so like fucked? You know what I mean? Like everything's just like darkness. If you underneath everything's like something's bad's going on. You know what I mean? Right now, like millions. Like in order for us human beings to stay alive, millions of animals have to be put into cages so we can eat their bodies, so we can live off of like their corpses. You know what I mean? And like plants, vegetation have to die. Underneath everything, something bad's going on. You know what I mean? There's something dark. There's like evil underneath everything, and it's kind of a bit, why is it like that? And obviously people, if you believe in God, because I do believe that if God is real, he is probably evil or psychopathic, which is why if you look at our history, a lot of it's just like hardships and misery. Even right now there's like a lot of suffering and people praying to God, but their prayers go unanswered. And that to me like would suggest that if there truly is a God and he's like watching like all of his like creations suffer and die, then what kind of God is that? That's not like a deity that's like worthy of respect. If there's like a deity up there and he's just watching, he's just like watching things like go on, like people like suffer and all that type of stuff, it's a bit fucked, bro. That's like very, very fucked, man. I swear down. So it's like, if there's like a deity up there and stuff like that, a god, so to speak, a god, a deity, and he's not willing, and he's just like watching people like get cancer and die, that's a bit fucked, bro. And he's not willing to help. Because think about it, all throughout our history, people have been praying to God. They've been dying of like all sorts of fatal terminal illnesses. You know, in the Middle Ages, people were dying of the Black Death. They were dying of all sorts of like issues and ailments, and they were praying to God, and no one came to the rescue. They just died a miserable death. Even right now, people pray to God, but they still die a miserable death. They get some sort of terminal illness, like cancer of some sorts, and they die, and no one comes to the rescue. Wouldn't that tell you something about this world? That it's like, even if there is a God, he's not very loving at all, is he? So, and that again brings us back to like the initial question, right? Like why is this like, why is everything so dark and fucked up? If you look at the foundation and the root of this world, it's like it's all rooted in like suffering and misery and stuff like that. It's a bit fucked, bro. But why is it like that? Why is it like that? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Why is it like the root is like evil? Something bad's at the root of this, you know what I mean? I can't even begin to get into this. It's a bit it's like very dark shit. It's always been like this as well. If you look at our history, every living creature has to eat some other living creature to stay alive. Otherwise they stop existing, they die. And you kind of wonder why it's like this. And it is very dark and twisted. Like, you know, every time you eat meat, you're eating literally like the corpse of like the dead like corpses of like animals that were put in cages and beaten up, and like, you know, all sorts of bad things happen to them. And you know, I'm not a vegan, I still eat meat, but I still know how fucking dark everything is, you know what I mean? I know the dark truth, the dark reality that most people are kind of ignorant to. It's not just animals dying and all that, it's also aging, sickness, deterioration. Everything is like rooted in this. That is like the root, the foundation, you know what I mean? Everything is just like rooted in like this dark fucking like cycle of like misery and suffering. It's like fucked, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? It's all like dark and fucked up at the root. Like, the world's just fucked, and at the core of everything is like fucking darkness and evil. That's so funny to me, man. It's funny, but that most people, they're so ignorant to this, I swear down. Most people go about their day-to-day lives kind of ignoring all of this like dark, fucked up shit and like suffering, turmoil, misery of like living creatures and all that, and the animals that you have to eat. You have to kill millions of animals and eat their physical bodies just to stay alive. That's a bit fucked, bro. Really super duper fucked. The world's just so fucked at the root. The foundation. No one really catches on to this as well. Most people are so naive. They have like a false sense of optimism. They believe that the world that we live in is like something that's like good, something that's like beautiful, and even though there's a lot of beauty, but there's like a lot of fucked up things as well. In order for you and me to stay alive, animals have to die so we can eat their physical bodies. Other like countless living things have to die for you to stay alive. Everything good comes from something bad, something evil. Your health, for you to be healthy as a human being, thousands of animals have to die. That's the best example that guy used, Benedictine the Truth. He's like another YouTuber, and I was watching that video of his. He titled it everything good comes from something bad, something evil. I might kind of copy that title, maybe not. The world's like just fucked, bro. It's rooted in like darkness and misery and suffering, and it's like, if you think that the world's better, like something positive, something beautiful, you're fucking so ignorant, man, I swear down. The world's like just fucked at its core. The root of everything is like evilness and misery and suffering. It's like, you wonder why it's like this. At the foundation, at the root, everything's bad, everything people. Something dark is underneath everything, something bad, something evil. The God that you pray to doesn't care about you, because if he did, people wouldn't be dying of cancer, you know what I mean? Which is like fucking, that should really blow your mind, right? There's such a deity up there. The fact that people suffer and die of terminal illness and no one comes to the rescue, their prayers go unanswered, that should tell you something, guys. That should tell you that if there truly is some sort of creative force, deity, God, he's not very loving. Because even in the Bible, if you look through the Bible, a lot of bloodshedding, man. If you look through the Bible and like a lot of like the Old Testament specifically, there's quite a lot of like genocides, bloodshedding, atrocities. And it's something that's like a bit, people kind of tend to ignore it because it's a bit hard to come to terms with. Like if there's even like a kill, like what's funny is that if you go onto YouTube, not YouTube, Google, and you type in Bible kill count, God actually in the Bible, God kills more people than the devil. And that's kind of, I always found that funny. If you like calculated all like the total deaths of human beings caused by God, it's like it's more than the deaths caused by the devil. So like who's really evil? You know what I mean? And people are so naive. We believe in like, we have like this false sense of like optimism. The world's always been like fucking rooted in hardships and misery and suffering. Just look at World War II, which was like less than 100 years ago. Like people were dying. Less than 100 years ago, people were dying. Even right now, people are still dying in like shitty wars and conflicts. But man, something like is messed up at the foundation here, guys. The root of everything is like fucking darkness and evil. Again, for you to stay alive, animals have to die. Thousands of living creatures have to die for you to stay alive, and all that shit's a bit fucked, you know? Everything's like just fucked at the root. The foundation is all off, you know what I mean? Something dark is behind everything. There's something dark behind everything, something evil underneath this like veneer that we're exposed to, underneath like this type of fucking illusion. Something dark is underneath it all. And people, they don't really want to think about this. It's like so fucked, bro. The God that you pray to like fucking watches babies die, children die, all that type of shit. People die of terminal illness and not come in and rescue any them. What's even more funny is that, you know, disease, all that sickness, it was made by, if there is like a god, a deity, that deity made cancer disease possible to begin with. So that's also kind of funny. He wanted you to suffer, and that's what I always thought, that if God is real, he's probably a psychopath, and he just wants people and animals and shit like this to suffer. Like, whoever made this reality wants us to suffer. And wouldn't that make more sense? If you look at our history, doesn't that make more sense that if there was a god, a deity, whoever made this physical world, he wants us to suffer? That makes so much more sense. It actually, you start to learn like this. Wouldn't that make more sense that if there was someone that made us, he does kind of want us to suffer? Like, this whole world, whoever made this reality wanted us to suffer, which is why, you know, cancer, disease, illness is always an issue, which is why we have to eat other living creatures to remain alive. Otherwise we stop existing ourselves. We slowly die of malnutrition. Something bad is at the foundation, guys, at the root. And people are just so fucking ignorant, man. I swear down, man. They don't really, a lot of people, they choose to ignore this like fucking dark, twisted reality, the darkness behind everything here. It's like, bro, it's all fucked at the foundation, and there's no escape. Everything's just like fucking rooted in like fucking misery and suffering and like hardships and turmoil and all sorts of dark, twisted shit, man. Like, what the fuck, man? Why is everything so fucked up, bro? It's so funny to think about this. At the foundation, at the root, everything's fucked. And again, if there is a god, he probably wants us to suffer. I think so, that whoever made this physical world reality wanted us to suffer. Doesn't that make so much more sense? Doesn't that match like our history? If you look at our history, it's all just misery and bloodshedding. You know, doesn't everything match up like to this, like to what I'm saying now, that if there was like a creative force, a deity, he wanted us to suffer? I do think so. And there's also, if you look at the Bible and the Quran, eternal hellfire, which is something that I've always been struggling with. If there is like a god, why would he torture people for eternity in hellfire? What kind of deity, all-loving, merciful deity, would be torturing people in hellfire? That's a bit dumb to me. But of course it makes sense if like the deity in question is fucking evil, which is why I do honestly think so, that the god of this reality and world is evil, guys. Is not someone that you should respect. Unless you're into like worshipping like fucking psychopathic monster deities. If you're into like worshipping like deities and like almost like demonic beings, then fair enough. Oh man, you know what's so funny? In the Bible, God actually, he commits infanticide. He does bad things to people and to children, etc. And most people around the world, they pray to a deity that murders children and millions of human beings. That's kind of a bit funny. That's super fucking funny to me, man. But still, at the foundation, at the root, everything's like fucked, bro. There's like something dark underneath everything here. At the foundation, at the root, it's all fucked. And there's no escape. There's no escaping from this shitty reality. Constant hardships, bloodshedding, warfare, turmoil. And you try and work out why is it like this? Why is everything so fucked up? Only to come to the realization that it's just like this, that whoever made this reality world wanted us to suffer. Doesn't that match our history, the history of our planet, and like everything you can see around you? And the fact that you have to eat, like, again, the life force of other living creatures to stay alive, man, that's pretty fucked, bro. It's all just right rooted in like misery, hardships and suffering, man. I swear on. At the root, everything's fucked, bro. At the foundation, everything's fucked. It's fucked, bro. God damn, bro. Everything is fucked at the foundation, at the root. Constant bloodshed, hardships, turmoil. Always been the case, guys. It's always been like this as well, man, I swear on. Everything's fucked at the foundation. The root of everything's bad and evil. Doesn't that tell you something, guys? Shouldn't that tell you something about this world that we live in it? It's like fucked at the foundation. Everything's fucked at the foundation, man.
Are you recording?
No. At the foundation, at the root, it's all fucked, bro. It's all fucked at the foundation, man, I swear down. Everything at the foundation's fucked, bro, yo. I swear down. It should not make you laugh, man, I swear down. It's like just hardships, blood, turmoil, misery, suffering, all that shit's just fucked, man. That's like very fucked up, man. Like, shouldn't that make you think? Why is there like dark shit in this world, man? Like suffering, pain, misery, and all that shit. Like, what the fuck? Where's all that? Where is it all coming from? Oh man, it's all like at the foundation. It's all fucked, bro. I swear down. At the foundation of it all, it's all like fucked up. Damn, bro. Again, like, in order for you to stay alive, thousands of animals have to fucking die, man. I swear down. It's a bit weird, man. Like, the foundation's just all fucked, bro. I swear down. And again, you wonder why it's like this. It's like there doesn't appear to be like a clear answer. You know what I mean? It's all just like rooted in like dark shit, man, I swear. Suffering, pain, misery, hardships. And again, if there is a God, a deity, he probably doesn't give a fuck about us. Because, you know, the fact that people are dying of like cancer, they pray to God, no one comes to the rescue. The fact that millions of animals are being like caged up and abused and turned into food, their bodies getting torn open, that should tell you everything you need to know about this reality, guys, and the true nature of this world, and the fact that it's probably something that's not good. The foundation here is evil, guys. This reality is evil. It's rooted in like just evilness and misery and suffering. Everything's just fucked, bro, and you can't really get away from this. And it still makes me laugh that people, they pray to God. They have like this belief in a deity, a higher power. They pray to God, and they're dying of cancer, and no one comes to the rescue, man. That's just so fucking dumb, man. I swear down. Like, people are like getting like all sorts of like illnesses and turmoil and ailments, and they're just like fucking, they're dying of some bad shit. Like, something bad's going on in it. They're getting like some sort of illness, man, I swear on. They're getting like some sort of fatal fucking illness, and they're just fucking dying, man. They're like fucking praying to God and all that, and no one's coming to the rescue. It's very fucked, bro, I swear on. But why is it like this? I mean, I think that everything's like rooted in like bad shit. Turmoil, hardships, whatever the fuck. It's all just like, the foundation here is bad, guys. There's something wrong, something evil. Bro, fucking hell. You have to kill and eat animals to stay alive. That should tell you everything, bro. Like, living things have to get fucking killed and all that shit. That's fucked, bro. Shouldn't that tell you that like something's very off here? Something's very bad, evil here. The world here is not something to be looking at positively, man, I swear on. It's like fucking evil, man, I swear on. There's something like fucked up here, guys, the darkness underneath it all. It's like fucking, it's like rooted in like suffering and shit like that. It's like something that's like very dark and evil, man. Damn, people, they just turn such a blind eye to like all this darkness that's underneath everything, this world. everything's like rooted in like just suffering and misery, and we just tend to like ignore this. I guess because it's not a very pleasant thing to be thinking about, but it's something that you must be thinking about. Like, what the fuck, man? And, like, the world's just like fucked, bro. At the foundation, at the root of everything, it's all just fucked. I swear on, man. The foundation is just fucked, bro. The foundation's fucked, bro. I swear on. Everything at the root is just like bad. Something's like just off here, man. It's fucked, bro. The foundation's off, guys. Something very dark is behind it all. Something very dark, twisted, evil is behind it all. And we choose to just ignore this dark reality. At the foundation, something bad's going on, something evil. Animals are dying, people are dying. Got people suffering from like disease, sickness and all that shit. Something's bad's going on, but we're not really tuning into it because it's like very dark, twisted shit. It's stuff that you don't want to be thinking about too much because it's like something that's like very dark and twisted and fucking scary. Something bad, something evil is going on behind this world that we live in, and etc. And people tend to just ignore everything. They tend to ignore like these like fucked up issues, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you're gonna be ignorant, you're just gonna be suffering from your own misery then, I guess. I don't know. If you willingly choose to ignore this reality, this fucked up reality, again, the fact that animals are dying every single day, millions of animals are dying, plants, vegetation, people are dying of terminal illness and all that type of shit every single day, and no one's coming, God's not coming to the rescue, no one's coming to the rescue. That should tell you something, man. And the foundation here is something bad, something evil. It's all just like, everything's just like rooted in like fucking misery and suffering and hardships and turmoil. That is at the foundation here. Everything good comes from something evil, something bad. And a lot of you just remain ignorant, and it's kind of fucking funny to me, man. That a lot of people, they think that this world is something good. This world is like pleasant. It's not. Everything here is rooted in like misery and suffering. If you kind of pay attention to like a lot of the fine details of this world and its history and our history, you would understand that everything's is just rooted in misery and suffering, and like I guess also like you have to eat animals. It's rooted in like predatoriness and predatory consumption. Everything's just fucked at the foundation, at the root. Everything's fucked. Everything's just fucked up at the foundation here, guys. Something bad, something dark is behind it all. And a lot of us, we just choose to like remain ignorant, and it's a bit funny to me, man. People, they try and ignore all this dark, fucked up shit in this world. Again, animals dying, people dying of cancer, all sorts of fucked up shit. And they just tend to ignore it because it's kind of hard to come to terms with. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, the world's just fucked at its foundation, at its root, at its core. At its core, everything's just fucked, and we tend to ignore this shit, man. I don't know why. The world's not something that you want to be looking forward to, guys. There's something bad behind it all. Something at the root. The thing, whatever made this realm, this reality, is something that's like very psychopathic and evil. Whatever made this world that we have here, whether it be God, whatever it may be, is evil. It's not something that you should be like respecting, admiring, really. Millions of animals dying every single day, people dying of cancer, disease, sickness. and whatever made this realm just allows that to happen, and you're praying to the same creative forces, deity that made this realm that's filled with misery and hardships. That's a bit fucked, bro. And that's like, shouldn't that tell you everything you need to know, man? Like, this world's not something positive, it's something negative and evil.